Hi guys, this is Ms. Carvalho, and we're going to go over the topic 8 ECART on proportions as a review. Okay, so make sure you have your original um, uh, workspace or something open and probably another tab with your answers so that you can see which ones you got wrong. And hopefully this video will explain why. Okay, so this was question 1. The basketball concession stand sold 327 drinks in 2 games. So which proportion could be used to make the best estimate for the number of drinks that will be sold for 10 games? So I like to set mine up first myself. So remember the word ratio, drinks to games. And the ratio they gave me in the problem is 327 to 2. So that's my first rate or ratio, 327 drinks for every 2 games. And the question in the problem is which proportion would be the best estimate for the number of drinks that will be sold for 10 games? So I don't know my drinks. So that's my X. And I know that it's 10 games. So this is the other rate, X to 10 games. So then I'm going to look to see if it's set up the exact same way, and it's not. So there's no 327 over 2. So then the trick is to cross multiply. This is one way to cross multiply the one I set up, because I know that mine is right. And then 327 times 10, 3,270. And whichever one of these will cross multiply to the same thing, then it's the right proportion. So this one would give me 20 instead of 2 times x. So I know it's not A. And this one would give me 10x. So I know it's not B. I need the one that needs 2x equals that. This one gives me 20 or 327x, so that's not it. So the only one that cross multiplies and gives me the same answer as the way I set mine up is 2x, and this one, so the answer is D. So use that trick of once you set it up, use the trick of cross multiplying, because they did, this would be drinks over games. Oh, they just flipped. So it was just mine flipped over, right? They did games over drinks instead of drinks over games. But that's the only other one that worked. All right. Question 2, which is not a proportion. So this one is in a proportion. When you cross multiply, if the answers are equal to each other, it is a proportion. That's the whole definition of a proportion. So those are equal, these are equal. 50 equals 50. So hopefully this is my answer. I'm just going to double check. 14 times 4 is 56. And does that equal 7 times 12? I think that's 84. Nope. So I know that those two answers don't equal each other. So it's not a true proportion. Question 3, Lewis is on a field trip. During one part of the trip, he drives 275 miles in 5 hours. So my word ratio is miles to hours. 275 to 5 hours equals, what was his average rate of speed for 1 hour? So my 1 hour goes in the bottom, and I'm trying to find his average rate of speed. And then I'm going to cross multiply and solve my equation. So I've got 5x equals 275, and then I'm dividing both sides by 5 to get 275 divided by 5, and that is 55. So his average rate of speed was 55 miles in 1 hour, B. Other ways to set it up, sure, but I do want you to do this proportion in solving the equations to do these problems. All right, so this one was height over shadow, right? These were the problems we practiced in class with the height over shadow. And I'm going to put the tree first, and I'm going to put the a pole second. So the tree height, I don't know. And the shadow of the tree is 24. The pole height is 3. And the shadow length is 4. And that's how you set this one up. So cross multiply 4 times x and 3 times 24, 72, I believe. And then I divide both sides by 4 because that's the opposite of multiplication. You always divide by the number that's in front of the x. And 72 divided by 4 is 18. So this tree is 18 feet tall given the length of the shadow. and the height and the shadow of the pole. All right, which is the value of W. So this is just cross multiplying. So 1.4W, like this isn't a word problem. You just go straight to the cross multiplying part. You don't have to set it up. Negative 2.1 times 4 is negative 8.4. Hope you didn't forget the negative. And then divide both sides by the number in front of the variable because that's the opposite of multiplication. And then I'll have 1W equals negative 6. All right, question 6. Christopher's map of Fairfax County, 1 inch represents a mile, 1/2 of a mile. And 1/2, guys, is really easy to turn into a decimal. You could have put 1 over 1/2, but I'm going to put this in my calculator at some point, and 1/2 terminates, so I'm going to write the decimal form. And then he measures 5.5 inches between the two cities. So 5.5, how many miles? There's my x. So when I cross multiply, 1x equals 5.5 times 0.5. So I just turned those into these decimals. 2.75 miles. And I don't have to divide because I would be dividing by 1, right? Okay, this one is yellow paint to white paint. Could you do white over yellow? Sure. So 8 of yellow over 3 of white equals how many ounces of white would be mixed with 24 ounces of yellow? All right, so there's my setup. I'm going to cross multiply. 8 times x equals 72. Divide both sides by 8. X equals 9. So 9 ounces of white paint. Stephanie ran 3 miles in 30 minutes. So there's our first rate. 3 miles is to 30 minutes. At this rate, what's the total number of minutes it will take Stephanie to run 2 miles? So minutes would be X and the 2 miles would be on top. There's my setup. Cross multiply, 60 equals 3x. Divide both sides by 3, 20 equals x. So she'll run for 20 minutes. So if you put 20 here, that's good. If you put 20 minutes and you spelled it out, that's fine. If you just put 20, that was a correct answer. I even think they took 20 MIN. If you spelled minutes wrong, you might have gotten it wrong. So double check your answer for that one before you do the retake. And that was it. There was only 8 questions on this. So hopefully that helped. If you don't understand why you still missed some of your questions, then you need to see me before you take the retake. Okay. You need to understand what your mistakes were before you do the retake. All right. Hopefully that helped. See you soon, guys.